Perfect. 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 YouTube, what is good? Welcome to Philly Take with our big home of the hottest sports takes presented to you by yours truly. Like always, man, go follow me on my social medias. And if you're new to the channel or if you've been supporting the boy, smash that like button and hit that subscribe to help spread this content to great Philadelphia fans like yourselves. I know the Sixers are in the midst of a road trip. We're coming off 2 losses against the Lakers and Clippers. Not too much of our fault, just over-talented and overmanned and other things here and there. But overall, I didn't expect us to win those games. And, we got the Kings tomorrow night and we got the Warriors on Saturday. I just heard Steph Curry is coming back for the game against the Sixers on Saturday. So even that isn't looking too pretty. So right now we're in a dull space. We can't win a game on the road. We're coming down the stretch here and things just haven't been that good. But today, I was thinking to myself, and I was like, you know what? We need some positivity, man. So I started thinking about the playoffs. And in my head, I'm imagining scenarios and, looking at the conference standings and everything. So I wanted to make this video just to give my opinion on who the Sixers should play, or at least should want to play, in the first round of the playoffs. Now, I want each and every one of you that are watching this video right now to go comment down below which team out of the Raptors, Celtics, and Heat should the Sixers want to play. Go comment right now. So let's get into my opinion, okay? So I'm going through everything, and in this video, I don't really want to bring too many stats to the table right now. I mean, I know we do a lot of analyzing on this channel. We look at a lot of things from an analytical standpoint, because those things are important. But right now, I just want to talk about opinion, just give my feelings, man. So the few stats that I do have I think are essential. Okay, so if we look at scoring, as of right now, the Boston Celtics are 8th in scoring in the league. The Raptors are 11th, and the Miami Heat sit at 14th. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, if we look at defensive rating, the Raptors are 2nd, the Celtics are 4th, and the Heat, once again, are 14th. Keep in mind the Sixers are 22nd on offense in scoring and 6th on defense. That's pretty much all the stats I want to provide in this video. And I just want to talk about kind of the advantages and disadvantages of each one. But first and foremost, I've been thinking about this long and hard today, and I think each of these teams presents a different and unique challenge, and all of them would be a hard series for the Sixers considering we can't win on the road. But if I were to pick one of these teams right now in time, I would want the Sixers to play the Miami Heat in the first round of the playoffs, and here's why. First and foremost, as you can see, they're 14th on scoring and defense. They're not over the top, okay? The second reason why. Jimmy Butler has had a fantastic season, but guess what? They went out and got Andre Iguodala at the deadline, but what have we been talking about all season with Miami? We've seen them lose some games recently. I mean, we did see them clamp up the Bucks. They were the first team to hold the Bucks to under 100 in I don't know how many games, 85. The Bucks hadn't been held under 100, and the Heat did that in significant fashion the other night. But the playoffs are a different beast, and the Heat do not have that second star like a lot of these other teams in the league. They don't have a Westbrook and a Harden. They don't have a Kyrie and a KD. They don't have a Kawhi and a PG, a LeBron, AD. You know what I'm saying? The playoffs are a different beast, and I think Miami is a talented roster, but in the end, I want to see how them boys play in the playoffs. They play ferocious. They play hard. Jimmy Butler, we were predicting them as an 8 seed this year, but the way Jimmy Butler has willed that team together has been amazing, and Eric Spoelstra is a championship coach. But guys like Kendrick Nunn, a rookie, Duncan Robinson, who's coming out of nowhere, Goran Dragic off the bench, you know what I mean? Bam Adebayo's had a heck of a season. But this is the first time we've seen him play like this. Who else is in their freaking starting lineup? What is it, Myers Leonard, the guy from the Trailblazers? You know what I mean? They have talent and they play hard, and I give them credit. But wouldn't it be sweet to go up and play Jimmy Butler in the first round? I know this season the Sixers are 1-3 against Miami. We completely obliterated them at home the first time we saw them. And I believe it was the second time when we went to Miami and we should have won that game, but we lost in overtime. I know you remember all of that. I don't have to go through it. Recently, we were embarrassed by Miami, but overall, I think that presents the best, in terms of matchups. I think the Sixers would be able to win matchup for matchup in that series. Obviously, you have to stop Jimmy Butler and his heroic efforts, and he knows how to play the Sixers, from kind of an inside perspective from being with this team last year. But I'm not convinced yet that those boys, being as young as they are, not having that second star to solidify them, will be able to go deep into the playoffs. And I think they would be a good matchup for the Sixers. But then again, you got Jimmy Butler and Eric Spoelstra, and they play hard, man. But they would be my number one choice. The second out of the three, in my opinion, would be the Boston Celtics. And that might come to a surprise, knowing the history of these teams. But in my opinion, and we know the Sixers are 3-1 against Boston this year, this is the first year we've actually given them a run for their money and, actually made something of it. Now, in past years and, a couple years ago in the playoffs, the Boston Celtics, they completely clamped up Ben Simmons in his rookie year. Completely made him look dumb. Brad Stevens is one heck of a coach. Now, instead of Kyrie, they have Kemba Walker. Lately, even though Kemba was banged up lately, Jason Tatum is stepping up and, coming into his own. Jaylen Brown is averaging over 20 a game. Even guys like Daniel Tice, who I'm not too big of a fan of, they're contributing to their roles. I'm not going to say they have the most depth, but overall, that system that Brad Stevens puts together, it is special. The way those boys play with each other, and now they believe in Kemba Walker like they did not believe in Kyrie. There's not going to be iso ball. They're going to share the ball, and they're going to play hard. And even though the Sixers have dominated them this year, I think in the playoffs, like I said, it's a different beast, and Brad Stevens would probably be able to take Ben Simmons out of his essence. Joel Embiid had big games against Boston this year. Brad Stevens would throw double teams at him, make them uncomfortable, kind of make the Sixers win on shooting, which I'm not comfortable with us doing that each and every night. One thing that would be funny would be to see Al Horford go up against the Celtics in the playoffs. Honestly, in my opinion, I think Brad Stevens probably has a notebook of notes on Al Horford. I know a lot of people are saying we have Al and, he would be able to stop the Celtics. He would be the Celtics stopper. But come on, I actually think the opposite end of the spectrum. I think Brad Stevens, as we're seeing more and more now, made Al look so freaking good these last couple years. He made us believe that he was the solution to everything, that he could stop guys like Joel Embiid. And now he just looks slow and old. That system that Brad Stevens runs is lethal. And I think, honestly, Al Horford probably wouldn't even score more than a few points each game if we played them in the series. Brad Stevens would take Al Horford out of the game, and he would take Simmons out, and he would throw different looks at Embiid. I know they don't have a big center presence that would probably be able to stop Embiid, but that system is dangerous. And the last one, the team that I would least prefer to see out of the three, is the Toronto Raptors. I know you're probably thinking, why? They don't have Kawhi anymore. Kawhi was the guy that single-handedly took down this team last year. And you're right. But since Kawhi left, look at the Raptors. They're second in the East. They have over 40 wins. Those guys are playing hard every single night. And it's not even like they have the stars anymore. They don't have a star on that team. You can say Pascal Siakam is coming into one. I don't think Kyle Lowry is a number one on a team. But there's something about Nick Nurse winning. That team won the championship last year. He was a rookie head coach, but the way they play hard for him, and it's not even about the offense I would be scared about in a series. They lost Danny Green. They lost Kawhi. But it's that defense. They're second in the league in defense. And every time the Sixers have played them this year, we're 1-2 against them. I remember that one game Embiid didn't even score a point. The way those boys swarm to the ball and just make you feel uncomfortable, it would completely diminish the Sixers in a playoff series. We might be able to steal one or two from them, but in Toronto, I wouldn't see the Sixers winning any games. They would completely dominate us. Kyle Lowry would be flopping all over the court. Siakam is coming into his own. Nick Nurse is just 10 times smarter than Brett Brown. And playing them last year and being so close to taking them down, Nick Nurse would have it all figured out. He would make the Sixers look absolutely stupid, man. I did not expect the Raptors at all, maybe to even be a playoff team. I was expecting a 7th or 8th seed out of them, considering the weak East. But man, they deserve credit. They have impressed me this year. And I'm telling you, beware of the Raptors. I don't think they'll be able to go to the NBA Finals because they don't have that star that is usually needed in the playoffs. But boy, those guys are playing hard, and the way they play defense and just take you out of your game. Ben Simmons would be a non-factor. Joel Embiid would probably get double or triple teamed and hold on to the ball too long, and Gasol would probably get in his head. And it's just something about the way they play that would completely throw the Sixers team off, especially if we're on an island doing our own thing, and it would scare me for sure. And if we're not shooting, you can forget about it. I would be least likely or least favorable to play the Raptors in the playoffs if it were up to me because of the way they are playing and what they've showed me and Nick Nurse's system overall. I think it's a good debate overall. I mean, all these teams, I don't want to play any of these teams, but the way it's shaping up, they're probably going to be the 2, 3, and 4 seeds. Who knows? Should the Sixers want the 5th seed, the 6th, the 7th? Who knows? But it's probably going to be against one of those teams. And to me, I don't want to play the Bucks in the second round. I'd rather go against, Boston and then Toronto rather than play the Bucks in the second round. It's a great question. I thought it was pretty cool to think about. And I was thinking about it all day. And again, this is assuming we have a healthy Ben Simmons, a healthy Joel Embiid, a healthy Josh Richardson. So let me know down below, which team would you be most wanting to play in the playoffs in the first round? Give me all your thoughts down below. Thank you for stopping by. Like the video, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next one, man. Peace.
Perfect.